Yo, what is up guys? It's Pedro here, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the Washington football team possibly being interested in trading for Raiders quarterback Derek Carr, and we'll also talk about some under-the-radar options for the Washington football team at the quarterback position via trade or in free agency. So if you guys are new, make sure to subscribe for Washington and NFL content. So let's get right into it. Okay, so first let's start off with Derek Carr, and then we'll get into some under-the-radar quarterbacks that the Washington football team could target. And take this report with a grain of salt because it was reported by the Junkies and Lurch. They are not reporters or insiders, but they do have some sources within the organization. And then Lurch of the Junkies said today that one of his sources at the park said, "We're interested in Derek Carr," and that's really interesting. Obviously, Derek Carr is under contract with the Raiders for a couple more years. You guys can see the cap numbers here. We'll get back to that in a moment, but it is very interesting right there that we're linked to him. I don't know if it's going to get done, and the biggest thing is Derek Carr going to be available? The Raiders are always rumored to be in the mix to, trade up to get the quarterback that they want, or make a big splash in free agency. There was even some rumors about Tom Brady going to the Raiders last offseason. They're always in these rumors, and if they do indeed think that they need to get another quarterback to really make another step, then maybe they'll move on from him. They have, an okay mid-round pick this year, or mid-first round pick this year, that let's say we throw in another pick and then they trade someone else, they could maybe trade into the top 10 and get their guy. So it is possible, not necessarily very likely. And they also have Marcus Mariota, and maybe John Gruden likes him, or it's hard to see both of them back on the roster next year just because Marcus Mariota's cap hit is a lot, especially for a backup quarterback. So let's see what happens. And yeah, let's look at his stats real quick, and then we'll talk about what it could take to get him. So this year, he actually had a pretty good year. Played in 16 games. That's one of the good things with Derek Carr. He's pretty durable. He's only missed, 2 games in his career this year. Had about a 67% completion percentage. A little bit down from last year, but still, 67 is pretty good. 4,100 yards, and had 27 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. So a 3-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio, which is pretty good, and took about 26 sacks, which is not bad at all, and a pass rating of 101.4. So he had not a really good year, but he had a good year. They won about 7 games, I think. So, he's an average quarterback in the NFL. Some years he might be in that 12 range, and then some years he might be in that, 18 range. He's always going to be in there. You see some of these years, he had a couple good years. You look at, 2015 and 2016. I think he made the Pro Bowl a couple of those years, and then he kind of took a dip in 2017, 2018, and even a little bit in 2019. But this year had a pretty good year. Not too mobile, but he's not extremely slow like some of these quarterbacks. This year had about 140 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns. He does fumble the ball a little bit too much for me, but personally, I'm okay with trading for him. I mean, definitely an upgrade over what we have right now in Kyle Allen, Taylor Heineke, who could be an okay starter for a year or so, but you know what you're going to get in Derek Carr. And, some people are saying like a first round pick. I wouldn't, no way at all that I would trade a first round pick for Derek Carr. But if you get into that second or third round pick, I think a third rounder, I would definitely do it, or I'd definitely consider it. It really just depends on how much we have to give up, because a first rounder, which I don't think is going to happen, I would definitely not give up a first rounder. But a third rounder, don't know if that's going to get it done, but if it did, I would do it. I mean, he has a pretty friendly contract, $19.5 million base salary and a $22 million cap hit. And then the next year it's a $19.9 million cap hit. So that would be pretty good, because we would still be able to trade, or not trade, we would still be able to re-sign some of our guys and go after some of these bigger name guys in free agency. So I am okay with it. I would not love the move. There's been rumors going out about Derek Carr for a while now coming to Washington. And, I wouldn't love it, like I said, but I would not hate it at all. So now let's get into some under-the-radar quarterbacks the Washington football team could target this offseason. Okay, so now on to some under-the-radar quarterbacks that the Washington football team could target in free agency or via trade. And I'm not saying I want them to do this, but these are some quarterbacks that they might end up considering signing or trading for. So this free agency class really isn't great. You got Cam Newton, who obviously has some ties to Washington. You got Ryan Fitzpatrick, Mitch Trubisky, and Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott, obviously, though, not under the radar signing. And then Kyle Allen, Tyrod Taylor. And there's some intriguing options via trade for also. And then you got Jacoby Brissett. So let's start off with the first one that I think might intrigue Washington, and that is Derek Carr's backup, Marcus Mariota, who, this year ended up being a backup for the Raiders, but was a very expensive backup for them. Signed a big deal there. This year in one game had about a 61% completion percentage, 126 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Played a pretty good game in relief for Derek Carr, and they almost ended up winning the game against the Chargers. But, his career, he's been very mediocre. You look at his first year, 19 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Year after that, actually had a pretty good year, 26 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. But after that second year, he's really just been mediocre, 13, 15, 11, 8. He's pretty mobile, though. He doesn't get a bunch of yards, but you look at his first 5 years in the NFL, got about 300 yards a year. So might be a quarterback that we would be interested in. I just don't think that we're going to give up anything substantial for him. Maybe a 4th round pick if that gets it done, because there's not going to be a huge demand for him, because I think he probably would start over Kyle Allen or Taylor Heinicke, but who knows? He lost that job last year to Ryan Tannehill, so he could lose it again. I would be okay with this, but at the end of the day, Marcus Mariota, there's not a huge difference between him and Kyle Allen and Taylor Heinicke, and those two already know the offense, so I'm not sure if this one would be worth it. I don't see a huge upside with him. Could be a little bit of a bridge quarterback. Not really sure there. The next guy is Tyrod Taylor. A lot of Washington fans want him. He's okay. He's a free agent again. Played with the Chargers, I guess helped develop Justin Herbert a little bit. He was a quarterback with the Browns when Baker Mayfield was a rookie. So I think he could be an okay bridge quarterback. Could be a good bridge quarterback. But we already have a couple, Taylor Heinicke's a veteran and Kyle Allen's been in the league for a few years. I would do it if it's a bridge quarterback, but again, there's not really a huge upgrade over someone like Kyle Allen and Taylor Heinicke if you're just bringing him in to start this year. If you're bringing him in to be a bridge quarterback, that's a little bit different, but still not a huge upgrade. So the next name here is Jameis Winston, and I know a lot of people don't like this idea at all. They don't like him at all, but I think, he could have learned a little bit in New Orleans, sitting behind Drew Brees for a year in Sean Payton's system. And, obviously, he was a number 1 overall pick, I believe, in 2014. Very good talent. He just has to put it together. Last year threw for 5,000 yards, but 34 touchdowns, I believe, and 30 interceptions. Just very not good at all. And it's part of the reason why they went 7-9, and this year they end up going to the Super Bowl with Tom Brady, because he didn't turn the ball over as much. Not a very quarterback-friendly scheme in terms of turnovers with Tampa Bay, but nonetheless, he has to work on that. Might be an intriguing option for Washington. Wouldn't love it, wouldn't hate it. He's still young, 27 years old. You would bring him in and put him in the quarterback competition with Kyle Allen and Taylor Heinicke. And the last option, I think, would be someone like Jacoby Brissett. And they could possibly go after him. A little bit mobile, and he had a couple solid years with the Colts as a free agent this year, and maybe Washington could be interested in him there. There's a couple other options, Mitch Trubisky, Ryan Fitzpatrick, but I don't really see the fit there. Like I said, these options were not necessarily ones that I said we should sign, but some that I think they will consider. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Do you like us being interested in Derek Carr? Again, take that report with a grain of salt. Or would you rather go after one of these under the radar signings? Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please smash that like button, subscribe if you guys are new, and turn on those post notifications so you never miss a video. Peace.